Hey everyone, with the first year anniversary happening right now, I wanted to pretty much make a revamp version of my beginner's guide, especially with the first year anniversary happening right now. I feel like a lot of influx of new players are probably going to come in, and I wanted to make a sort of short video, or at least a condensed video, to help overcome the huge amount of stuff to do in this game. I won't be going over everything too much because this is just a general guide, and I have videos that talk more about specific parts of the game, and I'll make more as well because there are some things I haven't talked about, and I wanted to make this video as short as possible. But with that, let's just go ahead and start. So first off, we'll talk about lives in the game, which is the main gameplay. And lives are basically you just play the rhythm game for different songs available in the game. And once you look at this song list at first, it's gonna be pretty overwhelming. There's like over 80 songs right now, and we're gonna reach 100 soon, and I think in JP there's over 200 songs actually, so there's gonna be a lot of songs in this game. For basic lives like this, they're gonna be the best way for you to get diamonds, and diamonds is gonna be your main currency you're going to use for a lot of different things in the game. As you can see, each live also has different difficulties as well, from easy, normal, hard, and expert. And for each difficulty, there's going to be rewards based on what your score is, based on how high your combo is, and also based on how many clears you've done, you'll get rewards. Depending on what difficulty you're doing, you'll get different rewards. So for example, I already cleared this one, so I already got all the diamonds and all the stuff. But when I go to the hard difficulty, I haven't done it yet, so I can still get those diamonds for this difficulty and also the rewards for the combos. And to get diamonds, the main thing you need to worry about is your score. Combos don't really give diamonds except if you get a perfect combo, and that's not something you should worry about. The main thing you should focus on right now is to get as high a score as possible. And how lives work is that you're going to put your favorite idols or like idols that fit the team to give you a high score. I would talk about team building now, but that's going to be a whole different topic. It's going to take a while to talk about, so I'm going to make a video on that another time. And then also there's going to be two supports on the right here, and the support skills range from saving your combos to increased drop rate of resources you're going to need to level up your characters. Okay, and then outside of lives, there's going to also be infinite lives. And infinite lives, once you beat a level, you're going to go to the next level, and then you'll get rewards based off what level you beat. And those rewards range from infinite live coins, which I'll talk about in a second, and then some chests that give you random resources, and then for every 10 levels, you'll get one scout ticket, which is pretty nice. And then once you reach a certain part of infinite lives, you're going to unlock expert lives. And expert live is going to be the same thing as infinite live, except you have to focus on specific colors of cards. So for example, the condition for me playing this level is I need at least 4 spark cards, and spark cards are going to be cards that are red basically. But this is going to be the same thing. You'll get infinite live coins, you'll get resources, and you'll get scout tickets every 5 levels. And then these infinite coins are going to be really nice for you because they're going to give you access to a lot of resources and a lot of items. So as you can see right here, you can get a lot of jewels and gems for your idols. You can get Dia Scout tickets as well. And there's a lot of ways to get this. As you can see, like 5, 10, 5, like you can get a lot from here basically. I really recommend you try to get as high as possible in Infinite Life in order for you to get these Dia Scout tickets, especially if you're trying to go for a specific card anytime soon. And then the next one we'll talk about is Starry Lives. This is going to be your daily way of getting diamonds. And the Starry Lives change depending on what's happening in the game right now. So when there's no events going on, there's going to be a random set of 3 songs. You just need to clear a song basically, and you'll get rewards based off what chest is here. For example, this one is a diamond chest, and you'll get a random amount of diamonds once you complete the song, and it ranges from 5 to 100 diamonds. And then once you finish the first set, you'll be able to refresh twice, so you can get up to 3 sets of 3 songs. And then when a solo event happens, it's going to be the same thing. You have 3 random songs from the song list, and there's also going to be an additional event song in it as well. And by clearing all of those, you'll get rewards as well. But if you clear the event song, it will also give you extra event points for more rewards from the events. And then lastly, it's going to be the tour, which is the one right here. And all you need to do for this one is play the tour event manually, and you can get all of these rewards. And another live in the game is Ensemble Lives. So for Ensemble Lives, this is going to be your sort of co-op type of gameplay in the game where you can team up with a bunch of random people, or you can just have a private live and play with a bunch of friends, and you can just play lives together. So it's pretty much just a fun way to just play with strangers or to play with friends and just have a fun time. And then these also have monthly missions, which and it gives you some diamonds and some rewards. And also there's a stamp shop where you can get a bunch of stamps that you can just pretty much just spam and just press while in the lobby with other players. And you'll get stamp tickets by playing Ensemble Lives with other players as well. There's some really cute ones that got added recently, which are the Bookaboo ones. Like for example, this one of Koga bowing. It's just really funny. And then lastly is Shared Lives. I can't really show it to you because it's not happening right now. On the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, based off your time zone, you can do missions with a partner. And these missions span from like placing specific characters when you're playing a live. It can be any song, like Trickstar members, Eden members, and if you do those missions, you'll get 30 diamonds per mission. And if both you and your partner finish the missions, then you'll get extra resources as a bonus. Okay, and that's it for lives. Next, let's talk about the events. So in this game, there are going to be two types of events, and I can only show you this one right now because it's the only one available. And the first type of event is what I'm going to call solo events. And what solo events are is a type of event where it's going to revolve around usually one person. They're going to have a new song and story related to what's happening. And how that event works is you're just going to be playing lives, like you can just auto lives and manually whatever, and you'll get points and currency called event passes. And once you get 100 event passes, you can play the event song. And by playing the event song, you'll get a lot more points. The cycle is you're going to play some lives. Once you get enough passes, you're going to play the event song, and then cycle over and over until you get the points you need to get the 5-star or whatever your goal is. It's pretty straightforward, and once you actually play the solo event, you'll pretty much learn, oh yeah, this is all you gotta do. And also along with solo events, there's going to be something called a ribbon shop. You're just gonna get ribbons as you play lives and stuff, and you can exchange those ribbons to get items as well. And I made a whole video on that stuff, so I'm not going to talk about it here because I also don't have a visual representation of it here. So if you need more information on that, feel free to go to that video. And the second type of event is the one on the screen, which is a tour event. And this is going to be your best way of getting 5 stars in general, because this is the only type of event where you can get pretty much a free 5-star. And for how this works is that there's going to be set lists, which are called days. There's going to be 30 days, and for each day there's going to be 4 songs you have to play. And you have to use 3 BP minimum for each song. And along with that, there's also going to be some missions on the top left, as you can see, like set Tatsumi as the solo, or like clear the 4 flag with its original members. They're pretty simple, and I go over more about that stuff in a different video, so I'm not gonna go over a lot of it now. But basically, you're gonna try and get to the end of the set days, so you're trying to get to day 30. And you do need to get a certain amount of stars, so you do need to do the missions along the way. And based off if you want to get these memorial coins, which I'll talk about in a bit, or if you want to get the 5 stars. For tour events, they're usually 2 5 stars, and you can pick which one you want. Okay, and that's it for events. Next, let's talk about the memorial coin shop, which are heavily tied with events. So the memorial coin shop is a new system that got added recently to our server. Basically, this is going to be the best way for you to get cards from previous events. Basically, you're going to get these memorial coins from events or from just random campaigns sometimes. And once you get enough coins, you can exchange them for cards from previous events. 5-star, 4-star, 3 stars. And it's basically a way of you getting a card from previous events, because this game doesn't do reruns ever. If you miss an event and if you really wanted that card, you get the chance later to eventually get them. They usually get added to the shop 1 year after the event happened, if you're trying to go for a specific card and just try to start saving up for that card. None of these shops go away, so once they're added to the memorial coin shop, they'll always be there, so don't worry about that. Okay, next let's talk about the story in the game. So one of the biggest reasons why I talk about story is because this is going to be a really good way for you to get diamonds in the game. As a new player, the main story is going to be a really good way for you to get diamonds, especially the first part. So for the main story in the first part, you'll get 30 diamonds per episode you read. And if you see this, there's like a lot of episodes. And then a lot of episodes is going to be rehearsals. And rehearsals are going to give you up to 300 diamonds. So you get 100 diamonds for clearing it the first time. And you can get 200 more diamonds by clearing missions after the first clear. And there are a lot of rehearsals in the main story, so you'll get a lot of diamonds. And then along with that, we're currently going into the second part, which is the SS arc. And these also have a lot of story into the game, but they only give you 10 diamonds, but still 10 diamonds is pretty decent. And as we get more SS arc tour events happening in the game, we'll get more chapters. And then along the main story, there's also the story campaigns, which you can read the event stories from current events to previous events. If you don't have them unlocked, you do have to pay, I think, like 30 diamonds to read it. But there's a new system in the game where when there's an event going on, for example, like right now, Trickstar and Alkaloid are having an event. So all the Trickstar and Alkaloid stories right now are open to read for free. For example, Big Bang on the bottom left, you see is open to read. And if you haven't read it before, you can pretty much read through it, and you'll also get the diamonds for each episode as well. So if you haven't read any of it, you should definitely go back to those stories. Just enjoy the story too. I think a lot of the stories are pretty good, and then get your diamonds as well. And then there's also the idle stories, which are more like side stories or like very short stories, and they're just pretty much just nice things to read, and they'll also give you 10 diamonds per story. Okay, that's it for the stories. Next, let's talk about Office. So this is gonna probably be one of the more harder things to understand because it's just completely different, but I'll try to go over everything as much as I can. First of all, this is going to be your office, so you can pretty much just buy furniture from the shop, and there's some seasonal stuff that's going to be available in the shop. For example, this one's a wedding bell, which is available from now to like late July, and you can pretty much just buy it, and then you can just set it whenever there's a room, like right here. And you can just decorate your whole office however you want. And also you can get some cute interactions with random idols in your office, like Chiaki is going to talk right now. And then also some of the furniture does have special interactions. And then along with that, there's also going to be idol work, which is going to be a big part of some events and stuff. So basically you're going to send your idols out to do some work, and in order to do well, they need to have specific stats, as you can see on the bottom left here. And stats in this game are determined by the outfits they wear. And then once they have those stats reached, they'll do the best they can for that work. And based off how well they do, they'll get resources in order to make new outfits, or even some patterns to make new outfits. And it's just going to be a cycle of you getting resources and you making new outfits in order for you to get to the higher difficulty jobs. And this is going to be important later on because there's going to be event jobs that are going to give you more points or give you ribbons for the ribbon shop for solo events, and those become very important. You're going to need a lot of resources to keep up with all of that. So one of my biggest things I would recommend for this part of the game is if you're not going to use your BP for lives, or if you're not going to use your BP in general, I would definitely recommend you using your BP for work, because if you're just gonna not use it, you might as well get resources for outfits and be prepared for event work. I recommend probably like 1 or 2 BP when you do work. And then once you do some work and reach certain requirements, you can rank up your office, and ranking up your office will allow you to level up your departments, which will give you buffs. So depending on what you want to focus on, like if you want to get more pattern drop rate up, you want to get more elite when you do work, or if you want to increase your max work ticket load, it's just up to you. I personally went for business department first because I wanted to get my work ticket max number up, and then I focused on other stuff. I know it got a little confusing there probably, but once you start playing the game, you'll get used to it. And then next talk about dailies in this game and the battle pass, which is called Prime Mission. And unlike the Japanese server, all the other servers have this daily system where you can get up to 50 diamonds by just clearing random missions. They're pretty easy to clear, and you'll get experience for your prime missions or your battle pass. It's just like a battle pass. If you get to a certain level, you'll get rewards, and you can get experience from just doing your dailies and doing your prime missions as well. So it's pretty straightforward. And the thing about the prime missions is that if you pay for it, you have access to getting the outfits for this series. So for right now, we're in the second series, which is the Azure Dream series, and you'll get these outfits if you pay the $15 or whatever. But if you're free to play, you can pretty much get enough of these coins up here to get, I think, probably like 1 or 2 outfits for any character. So, and then next, let's talk about societies in the game. So basically, it's going to be sort of like a clan guild type of system where you're going to be in a group with a bunch of other people, and you're going to get some rewards for being in society. And one of the best ways to get it is just doing daily tasks. Depending on what day it is, it's going to change, but one's going to be daily check-in. There's going to be just tap on your idol in the room and it'll do interaction. And then the last one's going to change for weekdays. You're just going to try and get 80 points for your dailies. And for the weekend, there's something called joint lives what you should do, and I'll talk about that more in a second. And based on how well everyone does their missions or how many points you accumulate as a society, you'll get rewards from society coins to 200 diamonds and all the way up to a free summon ticket. There's also going to be a sign-in where you can just get some more society coins, some resources, and some diamonds too. And then I can't show it to you right now, but the joint live is a live where you basically can play the live, get society coins for playing the live, and based on how many times you and your society mates play the live, you'll get more society coins. And you can also play individually or with a team made from your society mates. And then with the society coins, you have two ways of using them. So the first one is going to be through the society coin shop. And this is going to give you the option to buy lots of resources, from tickets to jewels to gems. And then you can also buy music video outfits for characters that you want to give. Also some ES coins. And lastly, you can also get one scout ticket every week, right? As you can see right here. And everything except the outfits reset weekly. And then lastly, another thing with society coins, you can pretty much get these things called talents. And these are going to help you with certain aspects of the game. So you're going to start off with basic score, you got to level this up to a certain point, and then once you do that, you're going to open up bonus score, and there's going to be some prerequisites for other talents. And these talents range from raising your base score for a specific amount, or bonus score that's like an RNG type of thing that will raise your score. And then there's like accuracy. And then there's event bonus that will give you extra event bonuses for the first live every day during an event. There's also going to be some gem drop talents, which I don't really recommend. And then lastly, it's going to be work boost, which is very important, and I recommend you try to go for that. So if you need some guidance with this, I suggest you just try to get the bare minimum to get all of these four, and then just try to get work boost up first all the way max, which is just level 4, and then just pick whatever one you want next after that. It's up to you. I just don't really recommend the gem drops at all because they're not very good. Okay, next let's talk about scouts in this game. So first let's go over the rates of the scout, which aren't that great. The rates are going to be 3% for 5 stars, 7% for 4 stars, and 90% for 3 stars. And also for the 3% in the 5 stars, 1% of that is going to be the rate up, and 2% is going to be for all other 5 stars in the general pool. And in this game, there's 4 different types of scouts. The first one is going to be your feature scouts, which is going to just be, in my opinion, they're cards that you want to go for if you really like the idol, because a lot of the story, a lot of just the card in general is based off that character. So like their background and their outfits are just going to be based off them. And the second kind is going to be event gachas, and these are going to be more enticing for a lot of players. First off, the theme for each event scout is just going to be pretty random. It could be a club that the idols are in. It could be a certain situation, something's happening. It could be a holiday. So a lot of different themes. And then second is that these cards have more value when they first release, because once you get event gacha scout cards, you're going to get bonuses. So for example, right now I have 2 copies of this Shinobu, and in the current tour event we're having, I get 50% bonus because I have 2 copies of this Shinobu. So if you're going for a certain event, you should probably try and summon for these cards if you're going to go pretty far. And then the third one's going to be what we call limited scouts. And what makes these limited is that these cards do not get added to the general pool, unlike feature scouts or event scouts. Event and feature scouts get added to the general pool after 3 months of their release. Limited cards have a chance of coming back or not even coming back at all. For example, we had limited scouts that were collabs with other IPs like Sanrio and Link Click will unfortunately never come back. So they were truly limited. But then there are going to be cards or scouts like Timeless Promise here with Hito, and there's going to be the Spring Fair one with Izumi we had recently, and they're going to probably come back next year with their respective seasonal time. So if you want to get these cards, they're pretty much, you need to get them when they're available. And then before we start talking about the fourth kind of scout, once a scout appears for the first time, they have something called a spark system. If you don't know what that is, it's sort of like a pity system, I guess. When you summon, you get currency, like right down here, you get coins for each summon. And once you reach a certain amount of coins, you can get the rate up cards. So in this game, once you get up to 300 coins, you can exchange them to get the 5-star rate up or some other cards you want. It says 200 here because I already exchanged it. If you get a 5-star, it doesn't reset or anything. You just keep accumulating those coins. You can just keep summoning. And talk about this now because the fourth type of summon or scouting is revival scouts. And revival scouts do not have that spark system. And revival scouts are basically reruns. And if you want to get this card for the rerun, you are not guaranteed that card ever. So, and also these revivals are very short in terms of like duration, usually like 2 to 3 days. So it's really hard for you to pretty much get these cards unless you get lucky or you spend a lot of currency. So be careful about that. Okay, next let's talk about the achievement system. This is gonna be pretty short. So basically, in this game, as you continue to play the game, just doing idle work, or if you do lives, or if you just read stories and stuff, you'll get diamonds just for playing the game. And I'm not going to go into too much about this because I already made a video on it, but pretty much this is going to be a great way for you to get diamonds too. Like when this got implemented like a few months ago, I got over 30,000 diamonds, and that's not even an exaggeration. As you keep playing the game, this will definitely start adding up a lot to your diamond count. And then the last thing I want to talk about is idle room, because this is actually something I didn't really find out about the game until like a bit after. Basically, this is going to be just like a fun thing, especially if you produce a specific person and you can get their ranks up. Once you get to certain ranks, you'll get like stories, and you'll also get MV outfits for that character. And the requirements to get to higher ranks is pretty rough. So this is going to be a long process, which is why I want to talk about this, because if you already produce someone, if you want to get them to like rank B or A, you should try and start as soon as possible, because you need to grind a lot of fans for that character. This is going to be more for the non-free to play people that were willing to spend money or want to spend money to get more cards. And I just want to talk about some of the packs and VIPs that might be interesting to you. So first off, let's talk about the VIP. The VIP packages are very good. The VIP one is just so much for just $5 a month. You get extra diamonds a day, you get some paid diamonds, and you get your max BP increased from 10 to 30. And if you like to sleep, that's a great thing to buy, because if you have 10 BP, the max BP will be regenerated in 5 hours. But if you have it for 30 BP, it will regenerate after 15 hours. So it just gives you more leeway and not let your BP overflow. It also increases your max work tickets by 10, and that's pretty useful, especially now that we have auto loop for work. And then for VIP 2, they just recently added a new perk to it, and that lets you pretty much automate all of your events where you don't really have to touch it. It'll just keep going and auto it to the limit you set. And along with that, it'll give you 15 whistles a day, which is really nice because you can accumulate some of it before an event starts, and it will help you get those cards that you really want from events. And if you're someone like me who goes for like every card, then I get this every month because it's way cheaper than like buying diamonds or BP separately. And then for packages in this game, there's going to be some really good summon packs. Like every week they have 10 pulls for $10. You can get that, and they don't expire. The 2 for $1 ticket, but these do expire in 2 weeks, so it's more like it's still nice to get because they give you a lot of summons for a good value. When an event happens, like right now we have Walk with Your Smile and we have the first year anniversary going on, they give us pretty good packs for that. And then for these outfits, these are going to be mainly outfits that are paid only. You can only buy them with paid diamonds, but they also come with scout tickets. So it's a pretty good value since you get costumes and you get summon tickets for cheaper because it's usually 3,500 versus 3,000. And then lastly, the diamonds. I personally don't really recommend this the most because the diamonds are not as cost efficient, and they're usually only used if you really need to go for a card for an event, if you don't have any whistles or something. So the first purchase bonus isn't bad, but after that, the amount you get for how much you pay is pretty bad. So I would suggest you stay clear of it unless you're really desperate to get the 5-star, or if you're maxing out a 5-star from an event. Okay, and that's about it. There are probably a few tips I want to share outside now, and one is that if you're going to go for events are not easy to do, except tour events. The solo events are going to be pretty hard for you to get the 5-star, and you probably can't get it unless you spend diamonds or spend money. That's how it goes, because you definitely can't get it based off just your natural BP regeneration. You will definitely not have enough. So if you're going for certain event cards, I would definitely recommend you to try to save up at least 8 to 10k diamonds minimum, depending on how good your teams are, in order for you to get that 5-star. For tour events, it's going to be a lot easier because the way you get points are going to be easier to obtain, and the game usually does try to help you with BP in that sense. But the biggest thing of tour events is that you have to play the game manually, and that takes a lot of time. So that's the biggest problem with tour events, if it's just time. Also, there's also a lot of information in this video. I just wanted to give you a general outline of what you should expect from the game, and then once you play the game, you'll definitely get used to it pretty quickly. It's just in the beginning, it's pretty overwhelming. There's just a lot of stuff to do, but then once you start playing the game, just take it at your own pace. Just don't get too burnt out because there's a lot of stuff to do. And then last thing I want to share is take some breaks. Like, this game is not gonna always be something you need to do. Like, especially if you only produce like a specific amount of idols, there's only gonna be a certain amount of scouts, a certain amount of events going on that have those idols in them. So don't feel like you have to go for every event unless you're a collector like me, and I'm going for every event card. But just don't try to burn out, because I feel like burning out is pretty easy in this game because events happen really frequently and there's just something going on like every week. So okay, but that's it for the video. I hope this is gonna probably be a pretty long video. It's already like 38 minutes recording. But if you have any questions or anything, feel free to put in the comments below. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, also feel free to put in the comments below. And I'll also be making some videos on team building, also some revamped event videos, and just more videos for new players and also just returning players as well. So hope you have a great time in Ensemble Stars, and also welcome if you're new or returning, also welcome. And hope you have a great time with this game like how I have for the last year. So hope you have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you all next time. So peace.